Hi, I'm Chuck Howitt. My new book is called BlackBerry Town. It tells the story of the rise and fall of Research in Motion, makers of the once indispensable BlackBerry smartphone, and the seismic impact it had on my hometown, the Twin Cities of Kitchener-Waterloo, located about 120 kilometers west of Toronto, a community better known up until then for Oktoberfest sausage and Seagram's whiskey. When asked to summarize BlackBerry Town, I sometimes turn to one of my favorite books, Bonfire of the Vanities by Tom Wolfe. Substitute marketing geniuses and software wizards for corrupt bond traders and sleazy journalists, Kitchener-Waterloo for New York City, ease off on the satire and purple prose in Wolfe's book, and you get BlackBerry Town. Think Bonfire of the Smartphones. It's not my title, but you get an idea of what I was striving for in BlackBerry Town. Character, storytelling, and a strong sense of place. Wolfe called his bond traders masters of the universe. BlackBerry Town has its own masters of the universe, only these were real people. The hardware and software geeks who built the first BlackBerries, digitized the Oxford English Dictionary, designed one of the first search engines on the internet, and created one of the first digital projectors used in movie theaters. Research in Motion forms the backbone of the story, but there is more, much more than just BlackBerry between the covers. You'll learn how OpenText co-founder Tim Bray couldn't stop shaking for 3 days at the prospect of building one of the first search engines on the internet. How Tom Jenkins nearly deep-sixed OpenText when he killed its search engine several years later, and how Pickstream became the Canadian poster child for the dot-com mania of the late 1990s, when it was acquired by Cisco for $550 million, then shut down several months later, only to rise again from the ashes as a new company, led by entrepreneurs Brad Sim and Dave Caputo. Even the BlackBerry story has some new twists in BlackBerry Town. RIM's two CEOs, Mike Lazaridis and Jim Balzilli, did not respond to requests for interviews for my book. In that sense, it's an unauthorized biography, but sometimes that's a good thing. It's the bottom-up account of the RIM saga told through the eyes of rank-and-file employees. You'll learn how Pete Gould went from a dying industry selling business forms to selling one of the hottest products in tech in the late 1990s, the BlackBerry smartphone. How Lindsay Gibson, a journalism school grad, engineered the company's appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show despite little help from her bosses. And how a young salesman from the small town of Elmira sold BlackBerry smartphones to five-star generals in Washington, D.C. BlackBerry Town is dedicated to Matt Walkoff, a friend and former colleague at the Waterloo Region Record daily newspaper. In the mid-2000s, Matt covered RIM aggressively but fairly, exposing its mistakes in an ongoing patent lawsuit, stock option scandal, and Jim Balzilli's attempt to buy an NHL franchise. For his efforts, Matt was blacklisted by RIM. Sadly, he died in 2012, but his memory spurred me on to write this book. Finally, BlackBerry Town was a labor of love. I covered the business beat for the Record from 2005 to 13. During that time, Waterloo was ground zero for some of the hottest stories in tech, and I wanted to share some of them with you. BlackBerry Town is available at Amazon, Lorimer.ca, and Indigo bookstores across Canada.